So today guys, you join me down here at Willow Pool, my very own venue that I dug some 8-9 years back now, and yeah, it's slowly becoming a nice little mature 2-acre pond. Plenty of carp to go at. I think there's a stock of about 100 in here now, with at least 45 of those now well over the 20-pound bracket. Some of them holding around the I-20 mark and are due to breach that 30 mark any time now. There's 3 known 30s to about 34 pound, and 2 that we haven't seen for a year or two that were last seen at 28s and 29s, and following on from the others, I'm expecting those to be 30 as well. A good backup of sort of mid to high doubles, and then there's quite a few fish coming through that have been bred on also. Now those are getting removed. Anything under 10 pound is getting taken out and put into my new stock pond. I have a decent head of cats in here as well, which I purposely put in because I do like my cat fishing and enjoy, especially during summer, setting up some live bait traps. They love a live bait, and yeah, getting your string pulled by some cats that are now well over 60 pound as well. Now this venue is private. I don't run it as a day ticket or a syndicate or a membership. It's been invite only. Very rarely fished. I only let a few groups of people on every now and again that come down. These are generally work colleagues as well, you know, that work within the companies, and give them a bit of time down here free of charge so they can come down and enjoy it. So it's rarely fished at all, so it's quite a neglected sort of fishery. It allows them to thrive a little bit. By no means easy saying that. A lot of people expect to drop on down here and just instantly catch. You can do, but they do get very cagey because they just do not see line angling pressure at all. But you can have a really good session, or you can be chewing for a bite. It's just one of those things like everything else in fishing. But I am going to give away a 48-hour session for up to 3 anglers exclusive in this vlog down here at Willow Pool. So that's a first. It's the first time I've ever done it. It won't be the last. I'm going to be doing 2 or 3 of these, I think, over the course of this. So yeah, you'll get exclusive use of the lodge with pool table, kitchen, TV, the rest of it. It's lakeside. You'll have 3 anglers on here, which is more than comfortable to cover all 3 main areas where the fish come from, and you'll have me on hand to give you some tips and advice and hopefully get you onto some fish. So like I say, it is a rare opportunity for you guys to come and enjoy this little pool that I've created myself, and come and catch some of the fish that are in here. Now how I'm going to do that is at the end of this vlog, I'm going to be asking you a question, and all you have to do is subscribe to the channel and literally answer that question in the comments below. I will then put it through a random selector and pick the random person out, and then I will liaise with you for you to pick a more suitable date, or the best suitable date that fits over the course of this next 12 months. Now it's a great winter venue, so if you can't get down this sort of spring and summer, don't worry, because if you are scratching around for bites in winter and you've got the lodge and it's nice and comfortable and a bit of central eating, it's a brilliant place to come to get some bites in winter. I've had some awesome fish out here in winter, and a couple of lads do come down and spend Christmas here as well, and they have had some awesome sessions. So yeah, so through this little vlog I'll give you a little bit of a rundown. I'm going to put my rods out. Like I say, I'm actually doing a bit of a session, and hopefully I'll have a few fish to show you, and then at the end of this you'll get your opportunity to win a session. So for my session here today, I just keep it simple. Obviously they're not heavily fish for fish, so in terms of being riggy, they aren't. They do get spooked, they do move a lot once you hook one, they will move off a spot, and I've tend to have found that they don't get on big beds of bait on the first day. If you're going to put some, if you're going to come down for a short session like I'm fishing today, I'll take it nice and steady. I generally just throw and stick boilie about or fish bags. If I was to go out there and put a lot of bait out now, they tend to take about 24 hours to get onto it. Obviously they don't fully know what it is. Although I feed the lake, I don't feed it weekly. I do feed it every now and again, and it's done sort of every 2 to 3 weeks. I feed in bulk, but I feed all of the lake. I don't just feed certain spots so they get spread everywhere. That's to keep the bottom nice and clean, keep them moving around and keep visiting certain areas. Anything from near margin, far margin, middle, it gets fed everywhere, and then I will leave it for a week or two for them to have a good clean up, and then I'll start to feed again. So yeah, plenty of bait does work. I've been down here with the lads, and if you're doing a 48-hour session, a few kilo in to start with on your spots, and then keep it topping up nice and steady after each fish can get you some real good hits. But when I'm doing short sessions like this, the easiest thing to do is keep it nice and simple. And today I'm just going out with a boilie only approach, so I've just got a bag of 15 mils, a throwing stick, and literally a tub of wafters just matching, and I'll just be literally starting in this peg, and I'll be aiming for a couple of far margin spots and one under this bush, and we'll just see how we get on. Like I say, what happens is generally if you hook one or two in your swim and there's nobody down the other end, which there very rarely is, they move, so you have to leapfrog down. It's always better if there's three sets of lads here fishing each corner. When the fish do move, the other sets of lads will start catching. This top end of the lake, although the shallower part of the lake and the one with more cover and reeds, tends to be a little bit better for night time, so evening and nighttime bites, whereas the bottom end of the lake, which is deeper and not as much cover, for some bizarre reason they love that as a daytime spot and a wintertime spot. So, but there's fish up here today. I've seen 2 or 3 already, so we should get a bite or 2 up here before I have to move. So yeah, I'm just fishing a standard rig. This is my go-to rig for everywhere, and it's a slip D line aligned. I've got a bait screw on this one. I'm not fishing far out, even though I've used bait screws at over 100 yard before. I tend to floss them on now if I'm fishing longer sessions and I'm leaving the rods out, but I will be recasting and moving around today, so bait screws are fine, and there'll be a 15 mil bug wafter going on there. Now in terms of bait, I don't have any bait restrictions on here as long as the bait's of good quality and it is fresh and prepared. Then that's absolutely fine by me. If you want to use maggots and worms, which I wouldn't suggest unless you want catfish, but yeah, sweet corn, hemp, boilie, all works absolutely fine. Obviously I'm associated to DNA, so I use DNA and it gets a lot of the DNA feed stuff in here, but other lads that have come down have used other bait companies with great success. So as long as it's good quality stuff, I ain't interested. You just come down, fish what you're confident with, and it's the exact same with rigs. You will get done a few times because, as I say, once they're cagey, they are cagey, and if you get a rattle on your rod tips, recast that rod or move it to a different spot. So yeah, that's all I'm fishing today, and be just keeping trickling boilies with a phone stick in throughout the session, and then if I have to move, I'll move. I'm pretty hopeful for a bite up in this area here. And this is old Quackers. She loves a boilie or two and often follows you into the lodge. She's yeah, my daughter found a nest full of eggs a couple of years ago, and she decided to take them in her bedroom, hatch them, and they all survived, but this one was yeah, she struggled a bit, and the rest disowned her when we released them, so she tends to just come and sit on the bank with you, causes a bit of drama, eats all your bait, but you're a good lass, aren't you, Quackers? Yeah. On a boilie. So I'm just putting a spread of bait out in this middle swim, and generally a little area where they run through the back of the island and sit from one end of the lake to the next. And I often fish 3 rods all in a line, just about a rod length off the bank on the first drop. There is a nice bar out here about halfway across that they like to get on as well, but putting a nice little spread out just across that back margin for if I decide to move in an hour or two, it often picks a few fish up. So I had a couple of hours last week doing the exact same thing, and it resulted in, I think it was 3 bites in about 4 hours, with the last one being a real nice 25. The Willow tends to do the majority of bites, but when you get them over there and you keep bait going over the heads, you can have a few fish pretty quick. It's sort of the intercepting point, like I say, from when they're moving from one end behind the island. They always use the back of the island as a route round. So just prime it up for later. Well, I was just in the next swim baiting up, and this one decided to rattle off. This is off the left hand side, just off the bush there. There's a fair few carp just sat in these reeds here, so I did expect one to move up there at some point. Used to be a great spot that when we did first start fishing the lake, but it tended to it did drop off a lot, and they just tend to cruise past it now, so but as that fish has just proved, it's always worth a try. Looks like another one of the smaller fish that are coming through, to be fair. Like I said, there's quite a lot of knocking in these reeds, so I know they're not near to spawning yet, but they do like it in them reeds. Quite a lot of natural food in those reeds at the minute. Went out doing some reed cutting the other day, and it was full of bloodworm snails when I were pulling the roots up. So I'm guessing they're in there having a bit of a feed. So right, we'll get this one out and take a look. I haven't even sorted that other fish out yet, and this one's now gone. I was just lifting it out of the water to put on the mat, and yeah, my other rods tore off. We're definitely up here enjoying this bit of sun. Doesn't feel much bigger than the other one. It's shaking its head a bit, but you never know with these. You get some that absolutely beast you, and then you got others that just seem to shake their heads and waddle on over in the net. Well, she's having a go now. So that's the first of yeah, what was almost a double take. As soon as this one went in the net, I was just sorting the mat out, and the other one's gone as well. It's just made the grade to stay in the lake. It was possibly heading to the stock pond, but it's just scraped into double figures, so it's £11, and definitely one that's come on. It's going to be a corker, to be fair. Real nice fish, so yeah, I'll get this other one out and show you that one. Yeah, so here's the other bite that went straight away. This is a mid-20, and weird fish, this one that I haven't actually seen myself before. Probably been stocked in at sort of the £6 to £8 mark, but it's got a real pink head and quite big goggly eyes on it. So every lake has a bit of a freak in it, and I think this is up there as a contender, but good spot all the same. And like I say, part of a double take on those tactics I showed earlier. So that third rod's just gone, and I didn't put the other two out yet. I thought I'd just make a brew and have a quick bite to eat, and just starting to put a little bit more bait out, ready to put these other two rods out. And I nailed another nice 20. Now this is one what we call bullet hole. In its dorsal there that it's just lifting up, it's got a hole right through the top. So yeah, a fitting name is bullet hole. But again, this is one that's come through from one of my second or third stockings, and this is one of the VS fish that I put in at about £8, and she's just tipping the scales at 22. So as you can see, cracking looking fish, and got a little bit of character too. So that's the third bite today so far. All 3 rods going back out over another scattering of bug, and we'll try and nail a few more. Well guys, it's been a fairly successful session already. So I've had 3 bites, 3 fish landed, 2 of those being good 20-pounders, and literally I nearly had a double take, and then the third rod went just as I'd sort of put those fish back. So I've just got the rods back out for the afternoon, and put a little bit more bait out. There's still fish moving around. Might give it another hour in this swim, and then the second swim that I baited up that I did earlier just with a throwing stick, I might go and have an hour or 2 in there. And with this weather being like it's been, if the evening drops as it's meant to do, I might even get the cat rods out, because I've not done any catting since last year, and they will definitely be active now. So my son's been out catching a few small silvers. They love a live bait in here, and as soon as that sort of dusk time comes, you can generally get on a few fish, and a few of these big girls might be coming out. Average stamper cat in here now is getting sort of around about the mid 20 to 30 mark. Like I say, there's a real good chance of a 40 or a 50. The biggest one we've had, or we know of, is just shy of 60, but there's probably bigger in here already. So it's a real mixed bag. I've got some real nice perch in here as well. I obviously stocked it with smaller fish so the kids could get into their fishing, and I could teach them the basics before jumping onto carp. A lot of the silvers have got to come out. It's due for a couple of big nettings over the next couple of years to get them out, and I'll be pulling a lot of the smaller carp out as well. But I wanted perch in here. Perch are one of my sort of next favourite species along, and I've grown them on from a couple of handfuls of perch we'll put in, but they have really bred successfully. There's a lot of food in here for them, and if you come down with spinners and drop shots and your worm and live bait rigs, you've got a real good chance of a 3-pounder. So I've had them just over £3, and like I say, yeah, they're breeding and they're growing really fast. So it's just having that little bit of a different angle so I can come down here and pleasure fish for the fish that I like catching, and that's what the focus was around designing this lake. It's really coming into its own now. It's starting to mature up, and I've done a lot of tree work, a lot of reed work. There's always a lot of work going into this lake itself. As a bit of a hobby, I don't earn any money. I don't sell tickets. I don't do anything. There's no money comes into the lake. It is purely a hobby. It was a dream of mine for a long time, and something that I eventually made happen, and it's really starting to come right now. So it's something for me to be proud of, and my kids to really enjoy, and my friends. So yeah, like I say, I get badgered all the time to get on and have a session. So that is why I'm giving you guys the opportunity to win the lake exclusively for 48 hours, including the fully furnished lodge and the fires and the barbecues and everything else that comes with it. So if you keep watching the rest of this vlog, I will ask a question towards the very end, and you'll just have to drop the answers in the comments, and then you will be randomly selected, and then I will drop you a message and we will be in touch about sorting a session out. Like I say, it is an awesome winter water, so if you're looking for somewhere to come and get a bite in winter and be in comfort, plenty of warmth, then it's definitely something you should look for a nice little winter trip, especially if there's 3 of you. You can have a real nice social in winter without freezing, and chance of a fish. I mean, the lads have had them out of here under the ice. I've done so myself, and plenty of chances of some big 20s and the odd 30. So I'm gonna hopefully nail another fish out of here, and then might have a move over there and just follow the same tactics. But as I've said, I've gone really steady. I've probably put 2 kilo of 15mm bug out with a throwing stick, just nice and steady away, because I do know if I'd have gone out here and just started ossing baiting from the off, there was every chance that the fish would have just moved off. They'd have turned back up 24 hours later. I wouldn't have been fishing at all. It tends to be, if you're on for a 48 or a 72-hour session, get the bait in early, and then you can sit on it. You can go do a bit of stalking, but then get sat on the bait, because the second night they do really come onto it and you can have multiple hits off it. But that 15mm spread has just been enough, and all I've been doing then is putting a 15mm bug wafter over the top on my slip D's, and it's worked absolutely perfectly. I did the exact same the other week when I just had 3-4 hours at my disposal, and that worked exactly the same. Incidentally, I had 3 bites on that trip, so I need 4 bites to beat last time. So I'm sure it's going to happen. Hopefully with one of these 30s on. Fish number 4. So this one's £18, well, just a tad over. Massive apple slice scales on it, and yeah, absolute one toner. So 4 fish today. Absolutely blinding sunshine as well. Beautiful day to be set out catching a few of these, and just banging them out with the throwing stick, picking them off as they're coming down the margins. And there you go, bite number 5, and another chunky little double. This one probably about 12-13 pound, so it's just safe going in the stock pond. But yeah, definitely one that's come through from breeding, and definitely a chunky little fish. It's going to be a good one, that's for sure. This is going to be our last one, as the sun's blazing. It's getting to evening time. I think I'm going to go and enjoy a nice barbecue with the family and just chill out in the garden for a bit. So as I've said, if you do want to win a session on this lake exclusive, which is very rare, and come and catch some of these and have a bit of fun, you have to answer me a question. So the question is, what was the name of the 3rd fish that I've caught in this session today? And all I want you to do is drop the name into the comments box, subscribe to my channel, drop this video a like, and then I will be announcing a winner within the next 4 weeks time. So I'll contact you direct and we'll take it from there. So yeah, come and catch a few of these.